Hello, my friends on YouTube. I'm sorry about that being late. I didn't make many videos. I'm sorry, I was busy. Anyway, today's video is about Islam, communism, and the cutting of the jugular vein. The reason I chose this title is what's happening in Islamic countries and in communist China. Okay, before we start, I would like to answer a couple of things that came to me. Just a moment. Okay. Number one, sometimes I cannot open my comments, but I'm not ignoring the people who write the comments. I'm sorry. Okay, so for Carrie Littimore, you asked me for the two people whom I spoke in the previous video, and I sent them to you. I couldn't open your last comment, but I could read the question, so I sent them to the previous comment, to your first comment. I hope you got them. If not, please write to me again. There was a person by name Zig, Z-I-G, and I'm sorry I couldn't open your comment. If you don't mind, please send it again. Okay, we received a very good question from Solving Politics. It says, Muhammad Ayad, meanwhile, the Palestinians respond to Trump's peace plan with days of rage. I think it is someone else's turn other than Israel to babysit the Palestinian. What do you think? Okay, it's a very, very good question. Let's talk about it first and then we go to our subject. Dictators all over the world, they like power and authority, and they are afraid to lose this power. Whether this dictator is not Kim Il Sung, his grandson, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, whether this is Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, or Mohammed. Some people actually, this is just on the side, some people think Muhammad taught the people to pray 5 times a day because of faith. No, it was not because of that. Muhammad was afraid that his followers may start to plot against him. So if he sees him 5 times a day, he can tell. If you see a person 5 times a day, there's no time to plan anything against him. He was a dictator. So dictators, they like to do whatever it takes to stay in power. So the Palestinian, even if you tell the Palestinian we'll give you Israel altogether, they will say no. They really want to keep the problem going because they are receiving cash, assistance from Muslim countries, and they are getting attention, and they play the victim card all the time. So the moment President Trump spoke of that deal, without knowing it, they rejected and they sent their people to demonstrate. So in my opinion, I really think this situation with the Palestinian is useless and useless to talk about it. And I honestly don't think President Trump should waste much time anymore. Already many people tried, even with Yasser Arafat when he was alive. there was a sweet deal that it was made, and he couldn't resist, but he had to consult with the rest of his posse, and they told him no, no, they don't want it to be sold. So, in my opinion, I wouldn't bother myself with that anymore. Go and do whatever you want. Israel is a formidable military power that no one can mess with them, with Israel right now. And even those who could mess with them, with Israel before, like Iraq, Syria, and Egypt, they are all in the dirt. Okay, and that victim mentality of the Palestinian, oh, they took our homes, 1948, they did this. No, no, I'm sorry. If I sold my house to another person, whether he was Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, atheist, I cannot come back and say, give me my house back. I sold it. I asked for a certain price. This person gave me the price. I cannot go back and say, give me. No, you sold. The Palestinians sold their lands, their homes to the Israelis. After World War II, yes, they immigrated to Israel because it was a safer haven for them to stay without having a person like Hitler come and slaughter them and burn them. Okay, so it's a home. So they invested, they bought land, they bought homes, and they stayed there. It's over. That's my own opinion. Okay, so don't worry about them demonstrating or not. Big deal. Okay, let's go to our subject. Islam, communism, and the cutting of the jugular vein. I use that term because actually it's used a lot in Quran. Anyway, what I mean by that, recently, although I don't agree with what the Chinese Communist Party is doing to certain people, like for example, I give an example, they are making new Bible for the Christian in China, and the Christian churches, instead of having cross or a picture of Jesus, they are supposed to put the picture of Xi Jinping. And the Bible is to be rewritten to fit the communist ideology that Xi Jinping believes in. So in a way, he becomes their prophet or savior or what have you. They're doing the same. I disagree with that, whether it's for the Christian. There's Jewish community there, by the way, also. I don't know exactly what they're doing with them, but they are suffering persecution too. But it is a very small a very small group in comparison with the Christian and the Muslim. The Muslim Uyghurs also, uh, at least with the Christian, they are trying to rewrite the Bible, but with the Muslim, it's very interesting because the saying, what comes around goes around. So what they are doing to the Muslim, exactly what the Muslim did in the early time when they had the power and the authority. So what they do, what the Communist Party is doing to the Muslim in China, the Uyghurs, they go, they take the man, either kill him or send him to receive re-education, or rather deprogramming or brainwashing, or call it whatever you want. So the man is taken away hundreds of miles away from his home. All the men, the Muslim men, they leave the women and the children. So they send a Chinese person from the Han tribe to go to look after the wife and the children. So he sleeps in the same bed with the wife. And many cases has been reported that these women, many of them got pregnant and they had abortion because they do not want to conceive from an infidel. Isn't that what Muslim did? Wasn't that what Muhammad told the Muslim to do? To tempt the army, because actually they became, well, they invaded many tribes and they conquered many villages, and they became wealthy from dirt poor. So in a way they want to sit, relax, and enjoy the money that they have, put it to work, make business or something. But Muhammad was not happy with that, so he used to tempt them to go to invade more land, more villages. So one of these areas was called Tabuk, was in northern Arabia. He was telling them, invade Tabuk, you will be rewarded by having blonde girls, because this area, it was mainly some people say there were many Roman women there, so they were blonde, and some say is the Yazidi women, they are also blonde. So he was tempting his army to invade so that they can kill the men and take the blonde women for themselves. That what Muhammad, the example of Muslim, had done. Okay, this what the Muslim army throughout history had done in North Africa, in the Middle East, in India, in China, all over the world. They killed the men, they raped the women, and if she conceives, the child is Muslim. What comes around, what goes around comes around. So he did that 1400 years ago until World War I, the Ottoman Empire were doing the same thing. That's only about 100 years ago, not so long. You kill the men, you rape the women, because this is what Muhammad told you to do. Now the time come for you to pay back. Muslims are paying back. So we know that Hong Kong caused a lot of trouble to China, and Taiwan is not very happy with China. So these two countries are putting a lot of stress on China. Add to that the coronavirus that is taking a lot of toll, and China, all the communist systems, they do not report, they don't have transparency, they don't report the right numbers. If they say about 300 dead now, at least multiply that by 10. And they extended the vacation for the new year. But the economy of China is not as deep as the economy of Japan or United States. So even though it's the second world economy, but this is because of the number of people, 1.4 billion people or 1.5 billion people. This is a lot of people. So it's the second economy because of the number. But it's a very shallow economy. And these many blows, whether it's Taiwan against them, Hong Kong is demonstrating and suffocating the financial market, and now the coronavirus. China is in trouble. The China, not I have nothing wrong against the Chinese people, but China, the Communist Party of China, is in deep trouble. And my advice, I hope somebody is listening from President Trump's office or whatever, it's time to make a move. And this move, whatever has been done in the past, when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, President Reagan, instead of sending the American army to stand against the Soviet Union, he made another move, and that move was to have the Muslim fight the fight. So, because Saudi Arabia was selling the oil, they needed money. So he told them, okay, we'll buy your oil, but you take care of these guys. Afghanistan is a Muslim country. We'll supply you with the weapon. You find the soldiers and send them to fight. That's what happened. Saudi Arabia started to recruit people from Sudan, Egypt, Pakistan to come to work in Saudi Arabia. That was the external excuse to get the people into Saudi Arabia. Radicalize them with Wahhabism, and they tell them, okay, take this weapon and go and fight the Soviet in Afghanistan, because they are infidel and they are taking over the Muslim country. So you have the Muslim Uyghurs in China now, oppressed by the Chinese Communist Party. Saudi Arabia buys military equipment, missiles from the United States and many European countries. Uyghurs are Muslim who need help. So, tell them, radicalize some Muslim. There are many of them are radical already. Tell them Syria is not important anymore, it's falling apart. Go and fight in China. Help your Muslim brothers in China. Liberate them. So, they send these fighters, instead of staying in the Middle East area and in the West, send them to China to help their brother. So you hit two birds with one stone. They fight in China, they shake the Chinese Communist Party more, and they kill each other. They want to go to heaven to get their 72 virgin, so you're actually doing them a favor. And you shake the Chinese Communist Party meanwhile, so that system, that communist system can collapse quickly. Put them out of their misery quickly. You are doing a favor to the Muslim to go to heaven to get their 72 virgin. You are doing a favor for the Chinese party to shake it up so that we can get rid of it, get rid of communism once and for all. And we have peace. Thank you very much. We welcome your comments.